Hey everybody, I'm Michael Monaco.
And I'm Bobby Salveson, and we are the Hazmat guys, bringing you the knowledge and insight to make your job a little bit easier and safer. But before today's show, let's listen to our sponsors. From traditional headsets to in-ear communications, Cavcon offers rugged and reliable choices for any communication challenge and any harsh environment. Cavcon's award-winning Talk Through Your Ears technology is specifically designed for clear and consistent in-suit communications. Whether you're working from a quiet control room or responding to an incident in a full level A, Cavcom has the comm system that's right for you. Any suit, any respirator, any radio, any environment. Check them out at cavcominc.com, that's CAVCOMINC.com, or give them a call at 866-547-4988. Hey everybody, we have a great episode coming up today, but before we start the show, we want to share some exciting news from the Hazmat guys. As some of you may know, we have been working on a Hazmat drill book for quite some time, and we're pleased to announce that it is finally available on Amazon. This book was written by contributors from the Hazmat community based all around the United States, and we think it will provide a ton of value for both you and your department. The title of the book is The National Emergency Response Hazmat Drills, 50 Drills to Improve Your Team, better known as NERD. No, this was not a mistake. Anyway, the goal of the book has been to help the Hazmat community, and we hope that you'll take a moment to check it out and share it. We have the link in the show notes, and if you have a moment, please leave us a positive review in Amazon. We'd be very grateful. We wanted to get NERD on the bestseller list and give more exposure to our community. Again, the book is called National Emergency Response Hazmat Drills, 50 Drills to Improve Your Team, and there's both a paperback and Kindle version available. Thank you, everybody.
Now let's get into the show. Hey everybody, and welcome back. This is episode 162 of the Hazmat guys. How you all doing tonight? What's going on, Bob? Bob's not happy right now.
I'm a little under the weather. I just came back from the wonderful and wild world at Teaks, taking one of their flammable liquids classes, and met some very interesting people. And I actually got to see President George Bush's funeral.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes, it was incredible because they had to consolidate the class a little bit to make it all work, and we were let off early because we were on the Texas A&M property.
Right.
And the Secret Service is like, yeah, you got to be out of here by 11. So
wow,
we shot over to the parking garage that was closed, and we sweet-talked them upstairs, and then the Secret Service was nice enough to look the other way while we took the best seat in the house.
That's cool.
Yeah, so... yeah, maybe for this episode, I can't do that. Maybe I'll add an extra photo of some of the stuff that we saw. Maybe we could put a little picture book in there, but pretty cool, actually.
Sounds good.
But,
so the reason that I say that Bob is not happy is because I have ambushed him tonight.
He totally did.
I did, and I think it's going to turn out good because I haven't given it much thought as well, and I'll explain what I mean in a few minutes here. It's not a secret that we prepare for almost every single show that we have, right? There's a ton of information, and we want to make sure that we get information right, so we have notes in front of us that we go off of. I have nothing in front of Bob right now. He has zero notes, and I have zero notes. And so we get on the computer to discuss what we're going to do, and Bob goes, hey, what are we going to do today? And I go, we're going to put together a rapid intervention team. And he goes, you're freaking kidding me, right? I'm like, no. So just kind of go with me on this. What I want this to be is a constant work in progress, all right? This is the initial thoughts. This is the spitballing. These are the ideas that go back and forth. I had answered a question about rapid intervention teams on the last episode, and we don't have a rapid intervention team for Hazmat, right, in the New York City Fire Department. No. So I kind of was thinking over the week, I was like, wow, what a really interesting thing to do is to kind of develop one from scratch on the air. And this may work, this may not work, but basically I've got a couple of kind of key questions that I really want to talk about and find out what Bob's thought process is, find out what my thought process is, and then kind of go back and forth and see. Hopefully, we have differing opinions, and we can kind of like go back and forth. So Much to Bob's chagrin, I have ambushed him today, so I'm going to apologize ahead of time. But I don't think it's going to be that bad. I actually think it's going to.
I
be
think it'll
pretty
be
good.
all right.
It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. So
I'm just, I always I'm just worried that, like, oh, I could have thought of 6 more points that would have been really pertinent to that. But I think, this actually could be a very organic type, discussion where it's something that I don't think is discussed enough. It's a conversation that only, as far as my purview, as far as I've heard, nobody really talks about this at all.
No.
We pretend it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I mean, we've had guys on before that have talked about the rapid intervention teams, and I really didn't give it a whole ton of thought. And then,
Right.
I was thinking about the answer to this the email that we got that I said over the air, and I was like, a couple of the thoughts that I had really made me sit back and go, holy crap, this is something that really, like, there really does need to be something in place, because there are differences. There's right, because as it's structured right now, we have a backup team. And we
Right.
generally think of the backup team as the person who's going to come in and rescue me if something happens. But that backup team is, within the past couple years, we've had the whole, 1994. We have different PPE than we did back when Hazmat started. So I think it's time to revisit this idea of the backup team being both the rapid intervention team as well as the, hey, I'm going to pick up where you left off team.
Right. See, you know what? It's funny because forgive me, I don't remember the guy's name, but he called me up on my cell phone. I'm going to say about 9 months ago, and there was an initiative to do questionnaires to certain people in the field. And they were asking about, it was a questionnaire. Basically, the guy just gave me, 20 questions. And he said, do you have a rapid intervention team for your department? And I was like, none to speak of, So what function is, do you have a RIT team, or where I work, it's called a FAST team. It's a firefighter assist team. But you call it a RIT team. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Do you have a FAST team that is standing by in addition to the backup team? And I was thinking about that for a little bit. I was like, if you have your backup team who is the most prepared to go down range in the same PPE that you are selecting, would it be something smart to do? Now, with the new 1994 suits, if you get a tight... Now, again, I don't want to split hairs with those of you that are, the warriors of the PPE, but I will say that I know it's not tested to the same, but 94 Type 1 suits, I would have very little problem going down range in the same atmosphere I would pick for the level A.
Okay.
So, I can dress myself. I can undress myself in a 94 Type 1 suit, probably faster than some guys can get into their bunker gear. And I can be at your aid. So, me, I can say I don't think the backup team should be it. Now, let me just say one more thing before I turn it over to you. I'm speaking from the largest fire department in the world.
Yes.
Where we have, and I'm not joking, we have 500 to 600 technicians that are, and we'll say one third of them are on duty at any one time. So you're talking about 300 guys we can throw at one of those scenes at the drop of a hat. Within 2 hours, I can have 300 trained and PPE selected technicians on scene. That is impossible to do somewhere else.
Okay, so that then will bring me to my very first question for you, and I don't know. I can either answer first or you can answer first. It doesn't matter to me. What level of training do you think that RIT team should have? And I ask that question because if you think about the roles and responsibilities, right, they are going in, they are grabbing, and they are pulling out. What is it that they really need to know as a technician to be able to perform a rescue? When we ask operations level people to be that initial rescue all the time?
That's a really good question, man. Wow. Because you know what? If it is a mission, and missions are specialties of operations, and in all reality, you're not doing anything that would be. So you give them the PPE, you give them the training, and you check all the boxes for 472 in 1910. And I'm an operations guy, so I have the right PPE to go downrange. I have the training to go downrange. I know my mission because I'm already trained in firefighter removal. Boy, I think, you know what? I would probably make it, and I'm sure there's going to be some out there sniping me going, well, in Part Q, subsection 253. So shut up.
Right. But that's good. That's the discussion that I want to start.
I think you can send an operations level guy down there to do one job. Throw the guy in a sked and then run. Right. Because he's not doing any work downtown.
Nothing. He's not getting mingled in the equipment. I mean, unless there's some kind of an extrication that's going on. But even then, you're not talking about mitigation work. And I don't know. There's a part of me that kind of sits and goes, wow, we don't have to use a technician. So that whole, oh, look, we can say that because we're the biggest fire department in the world. Yes, but now we are allowing even these small departments that are out there the ability to have a rapid intervention team set up, ready to go, strictly just to remove a downed firefighter.
Well, there's another part of this thing is that, and I think we can both agree that the most common reason for somebody to require a RIT is going to be because of a slip, trip, or fall, cardiac-related event, something like that. But it's not going to be something that you two people going down for. You know what I'm saying? I mean, okay, could we be on a catwalk? Yeah, we could be there on a catwalk. Could but I'm going to say it's more than likely, statistically saying, that one guy's going to be affected. So what's the problem with the partner handling the extra care? It's not like he's going to be like, yeah, take Joe out. I'm just going to stay here and finish this up. He's done.
Okay, so I've given that some thought. For two reasons why I don't think we should be relying on the partner. And when I say relying on, I don't mean like, hey, no, the partner shouldn't be doing it. I mean that, given a worst case scenario, do you want to rely on that partner? And here's my two reasons. One, right, that slip, trip, or malfunction could end up involving that partner. And if you're set up to be like, oh, well, the partner's going to grab him, well, now what if the partner goes down in that worst case scenario? All right. And the second thing is when we look at how ruggedized the level A suits are, and let's say you did have to perform some kind of an extrication, or you did have to perform, not mitigation work, but something where you have the potential in that rescue to compromise the suit. I think you would be better off having people in there in MT-94s, as well as the incredible complexity of a person in a level A. And I'm choosing level A because I think that that would be the worst case scenario. Right? Would you agree?
Yeah. Level A is going to be the most cumbersome and pain in the ass to work in. Yeah, I would say. Yeah.
If you gave that job to the partner and even the backup team that's dressed in level A, I think that in a like a heart attack type situation or medical situation, that you would actually be doing a great disservice to that downed firefighter by making three people in level A's try to pull this guy out who's also in a level A.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. And that kind of just, riffing off the top of my head, but if I'm going down in level A, and I'm talking about going down range, I got to bring a ton of tools and stuff like that. Me personally, I prefer to take my tools and put them on a sked. Right.
Now you're talking.
I can put my tool.
You're talking about. Are you
What's
talking
that?
about Are you talking about as a hazmat technician going to mitigate, or as a firefighter performing fast operations?
No, I'm talking about just to mitigate.
Okay.
Right? I got to move toolboxes. I got to move middling kit. What you name whatever the hell I got to bring down there. Tools, all type of crap. Instead of me bringing that stuff down or putting it on a cart or something like that, I'm going to put it on a sked. Because in my mind, let's say I do go down there, I don't have a drag rescue device built into my back like I do in my fire gear. I don't have SCBA straps that are on the outside that are easy to grab or something like that. I'm kind of downrange with no way to get back. And listen, oh yeah, I'm going to bring some webbing. Are you really going to bring webbing?
Where?
You're not bringing webbing.
Right.
You know, I really, really doubt you're going to bring webbing down range. We don't bring our sludgeum kits. We don't bring our duodotes. We don't bring all that crap. All we bring it when we have scenarios that are for that stuff, but we don't bring down our medical kit with us. We don't do that kind of crap. So maybe we build a little kit. But I'm bringing my sked down there to bring my tools down or bring me back. Like, that's and this is an interesting discussion, is that, and I'm going to relate it back to the fire department, is that we constantly, I will wager a bet that every single person that is in the fire department that's listening to this has practiced hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times practicing saving a firefighter.
Yes.
I will bet you they have practiced being a victim less than 5.
You think there's an important difference?
Oh, totally.
Okay,
Totally,
go.
man.
Why?
Because we are always in the offensive. We never are in the defensive. If I'm, and again, I'm going to equate it to a fire, but I think you can all appreciate what I'm saying, is that if I am at the point where I need to call a mayday, I need to call something and get help. Well, what do? And the thing is not to think about it when it's actually happening. Me personally, I'm going to transmit the mayday. I'm going to take the waist belt, disconnect it, and hook it between my own legs. Then I'm going to get really, really big, like wide. So there is nobody that's going to be able to dance across my body. It's not like I'm going to be hiding in a closet or under a couch or dancing in the corner, like, oh, he almost got me. That was close, right? I'm going to try to get found. So, like, in the hazmat world, how do we do that? How do you become a good victim? And I think a lot of it's preparation, maybe in part of your toolbox, or maybe like a sling that you bring down, a little piece of webbing that maybe we rig ourselves up for a removal. You know?
Well, doesn't that... So I almost feel like what you're saying lends even more credibility to a rapid intervention team. Because we have so much stuff as a technician that we're contemplating and thinking about and bringing down in tools that, I mean, how much stuff can we really, especially, and we'll take the level A scenario, right? How much stuff can I really do inside that level A to prep myself to be a victim, right? Like I can't do those things. I can't snap my harness. It won't make a difference. They're not grabbing my harness. There is no drag device, like you said. So instead of putting that onus on the entry person in the level A, if you had that dedicated team off to the side who's not the backup team, right? Because I've seen backup teams before, and we don't have extrication tools and the things that in case that shit hits the fan is standing by. So that would actually, yeah, we could bring webbing. We could always do stuff as an entry team, but, we're already bringing down tons of equipment. We've already got tons of things on our mind. We're already trying to figure out how to fix the situation and look at the puzzles, and we're concentrating on the meters and this and that. And the complexity sometimes of a hazmat run versus the I'm in a fire and I can't see and it's smoky and all I'm doing is searching. There's a lot more mental stuff going on in a level A, and you're relieving that burden off of the entry guy to be like, you know what? We've got a whole team set off to the side over here that's that's going to be ready, situationally dependent, right? So if you're going downstairs, if you're going downstairs, if you're going into an area that's going to be difficult to access you, then we have the sked. If it's going to be something where there's a lot of carry involved, then we're going to bring a Stokes basket, and all those tools will be prepared by a whole separate little group that is going to take the scenario into consideration and choose the appropriate tools to bring with them.
You've heard us talk about First Line Technologies' Dahlgren Decon solution and the FiberTech wipes and mitts. They've just come out with Enhanced Decon Systems Kit, which contains everything you need to quickly decontaminate 6 to 24 operators and all their gear in one fully equipped grab-it-and-go bagged. This kit has been Hazmat team tested and approved, and it's the only full-team modified decon kit with the power of Dahlgren Decon and FiberTech wipes to counter hundreds of known and emerging threats. The EDS kit is perfect for incidents where a small footprint, low logistics decontamination SOP is appropriate. Are you operating in a harsh environment? No problem. Whether it's minus 10 or 104 degrees F, Dahlgren Decon will maintain its effectiveness and can be easily applied to neutralize threats. The kit is stable in temperatures from minus 40 to 160 degrees F if you carry the RSDL with you. If you use all the consumables in the kit, unlike other rapid deployment kits, you do not need to buy a complete kit to resupply. Just purchase one of the First Line EDS replenishment packs and order just the elements you need. When ounces count and the clock is ticking, grab the EDS kit and go. Call the guys at First Line Technology for more information or a quote at 703-955-7510 or email them at sales@firstlinetech.com. Yeah, no, I do not disagree with that. I love that the entry team and even the backup team can focus on their job. I'm very I'm not going to say against, but I'm very reticent to do what I've seen over and over and over again. Is we are constantly trying to jam a hazmat issue into the fire officer's box, meaning that hazmat is very different than fire.
Yes.
It's very different than police. It's very different than EMS. And we are constantly taking our SOGs or whatever they might be, your guidelines, and say, well, it's a hazmat deal, so let me just deal with it in the comfortable manner that I'm used to in my fire, EMS, or police work. And I think that in order to be an effective RIT team, we can't just go, oh, I'm going to get a roof rope and a sked and a Stokes and a set of irons or something like that. I would love to start a little, I don't know, discussion or whatever it might be. Maybe a fan. Maybe a water can. Maybe... there's going to have to be a completely different tool set.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to be ropes. It's not going to be screwdrivers. Without a doubt. Right? So, anybody sitting here thinking, all right, well, yeah, we can use like a regular firefighter because they've done the firefighter removal. That's all well and good. Right up into the moment that downed firefighter we'll use a level A, right? Because that's the most complex. Right up into the moment that downed level A entry personnel has now made it to the warm zone. Right.
Because that's where, at least in my mind, I agree 100% with what you're saying, right? Like, we can't just assume that an operations level person is going to be able to do that. So maybe the operations level is literally just getting them in and getting them to the warm zone. And then part of, that rapid intervention team isn't just that team going to get them in, but it's this policy and procedure where, okay, these guys just brought them this down firefighter here and they're contaminated. Their operations level, I can't expect them to do like this emergency decon and this emergency DOF, right? Think of an unconscious firefighter laying there in a level A suit that's been contaminated. You got to be able to get them out safely, but yet have an understanding that the material that's on the suit probably isn't going to kill them more than the heart attack that they're having. Right.
They might have been put in a suit because of their mission.
Right.
So, I mean, like, it's not like they walked in and it's like they entered the room and all of a sudden it's Black Death.
Right.
just because of their proximity to the issue might have been the reason why they were a level A. If they were 5 feet away, it might have been a B or even fire gear or a suit. So the fact that they're out of the hot zone and in that area is a great point. I will also maybe suggest that once they're out, like I think there's going to be a major mental shift for not only the operators, which is something which it blows my mind that even today, when people get into a level A or any suit, they think they went in clean and they come out clean. Like it is totally impervious until 480 minutes, and then all of a sudden,
right. Big breakdown.
Everything falls apart, and that's just not true. That is as false as any of those myths and pseudosciences that me and Mike put out on the conference show. You immediately are starting to take stuff through. You just don't take enough to meet that threshold. So when I'm dragging you because I don't have a sked or whatever, there is going to be more damage than you're not walking away from this.
No,
easily.
No, not uncontaminated. Even in your suit, I think it would be ridiculous to assume that level A suit is going to make it through an emergency extrication.
Right. So, I mean, if we're going to be doing an emergency extrication, I think people have to be understanding that the guy is going to get dirty, and we are going to have to wash him, and we understand that he is not going to walk away with this unscathed.
Right, which is, even more reason why I think this is a perfect job for operations level people. Because if you were able to get to the point where you literally just cut them out of the suit, pull the guy out, then you could perform that emergency decon that any operations level person would perform had they had a victim inside that hot zone when they first pulled up.
Yeah.
So they're literally doing the exact same job.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I would love to, and I'm sure there's a technique, I just don't know it, rapidly removing somebody from a level A. I'm sure you can, zip from the belly down to each leg and then basically step on the crotch kind of thing and just rip him down out of the suit. I've seen this with the fire gear where you can, with two guys, one guy pulling up on the shoulders and the other guy grabbing the boots, you can basically fillet the firefighter out of his gear in 3 seconds. I'm sure there's a way to do it in hazmat gear. I would love to.
I wonder if you could, if they're laying in a level A, if you literally just went and cut, how could I describe this? If you literally just separated the front half of the suit from the back half of the suit with a pair of scissors and just pulled off the front of the suit.
Put him face down and you make a U from his ass up to his neck and back down the other side of the cylinder. Pull that thing back, reach in,
and grab him
by the shoulder straps, and literally just pull him right out of the suit.
Pull.
I don't know if that would work. You know what? That's something we're going to practice.
Yeah, no, but this is the spitballing, right? So what? All right. So what? Other than, we're going to assume that people understand RIT operations, right? Because we're all firefighters. What specialized equipment do you think the RIT team should have standing by that would differ from a regular fire run? Because you're right, it is different. So if we're going to sit there and say, okay, well, we shouldn't think of it as fire, we should think of it as hazmat, what would be something that you would want to see that rapid intervention team have that they wouldn't normally at a fire?
I would think you're going to need, and this is a little bit out of what you're asking for, but I'm going to say you're going to need an extraordinary officer. And I'll explain why.
Go.
Because, first off, when that happens, it's not like a fire or some type of emergency where there's going to be 40, 50 people involved, and now 2 people are down and there's 40 or 50 people going for them. All eyes are on the entry team. I mean, seriously, there is 2 guys handling this entire operation. Everybody's focused on that. If one of those 2 guys goes down, everybody's going to want to go and help. And I think it's going to be easier said than done to hold back people that aren't in the proper PPE, that want to shortcut it and say, I got to get in there and get him. I know him. And say, you know what, I don't need that. Cut that out. I don't need this. Just zip me up. Shortcut. I think it's going to take a very, very strong and tough officer to say, no, we're not doing that. Which is all the more reason for us to be prepared prior to entry.
Right.
But I will go with your question as far as the tools. I would say a sked. I would say a short piece of webbing, and I'm saying maybe a 24 with a loop in it. Just in case. Boy, oh boy, that's tough. Probably one of like a set of slicers, like the suit slicer, whatever kind you have, like the one that you can you can open up your mail with.
Right, right.
You know the one I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, absolutely. You get it in there and you just pull, and it just kind of slices like a seatbelt cutter.
Right, because I mean, what if it's not a slip, trip, and fall? What if it's an actual collapse or something fell? The guy's stuck. Hell, I might have to cut the entire leg of the suit off to get his leg out.
So in that regard, like because sometimes I sit and I think, because I gave this some thought of different scenarios, and we go to overturn tractor trailers, and one completely viable scenario on the scene of a road is that something becomes unstable and moves and pins somebody and crushes them. So, it's to have the ability to operate those fire tools in a hazmat scene in the 1994 suit. Just all these are just all the different thoughts that I've kind of had over the course of the past week, and being like, what things would I say have to be there for every single hazmat run?
Well, I mean, there's like even small things like, let's say you do have an aluminum tanker that overturns, and you got to cut it. What do you have to cut it? You can't just use a roof saw. We just started talking about this. We don't have a pneumatic-driven saw.
That's true.
And we're actually going to order one. We're going to order one from one of the websites and try it out and see what it's all about. But, do you have the ability to do extrications in the playgrounds that we deal with? So, like, if it's a steel tank, can you cut it? Well, you can cut it, with the sparks. Well, I can cut it under the cover of a fog line, let's say. I can drill with pneumatic drill. I can do a lot of things. I can do an extrication, what would be a technically difficult extrication. I can lift things with airbags. That's relatively easy. Cutting's going to be a little more tough. And again, that strong officer is going to have to sell to the incident commander, we can do this.
So maybe
they're going to lose their shit.
Maybe one of the tools that this operations team should have is one technician.
Oh, yeah. I would definitely say there's got to be one guy to say, no, that's not a good idea.
Right. Like, just be like, hey, listen, I have an idea of what is going on here. We can do this. We can't do this, from a hazmat safety point of view, right? Because in a fire, the fire officers know exactly what's going on. But in a hazmat run, those same fire officers may not have a full understanding, and they shouldn't, because it's not their realm. But if you said as part of like a rapid intervention team, okay, listen, you need to have at least one technician as some kind of a subject matter expert or scene expert to be able to assist in the operation. Maybe that's a tool that team should always have access to. Yeah,
well, here's the thing, and I keep equating to fire because I know most of our listeners are firefighters, but I think you can relate with this one, is that when I have a firefighter down or somebody down in an incident, everybody on the scene knows exactly what to do. We deal with fire, period. It gets hot, heat goes up, smoke is produced. I know how to run it. But if you don't have the information for a hazardous materials incident, a.k.a., I'm going to a phenol this time. Now I'm going to an alcohol. Now I'm going to a hydrocarbon. Now I'm going to... If everybody on those entry teams doesn't know the playbook, because a playbook changes 11 billion times.
Right.
And I'm not saying that 11 billion times on one run. I'm saying that every incident is completely unique. That's why SOGs never work in hazmat. It's impossible.
Oh yeah, because there's
to write an SOG.
Yeah, there's so many different scenarios. It's
so. I think the communication of you're going to have a hazmat huddle before anybody goes running down range. You know.
All right, give me an example of when we would need the hazmat huddle, because I guess in my mind I picture it as such a go in, grab the guy, come out. I see the. So let's say we did like a heart attack, like a guy goes down in a level A, right? We have no idea whether that guy is actually breathing. We have no idea what the actual circumstances are, right? I don't know if I would be able to assess my partner as an entry team. If somebody went down, I don't know if I would be able to assess them through 2 level A's to be able to be like, yeah, this guy is breathing. I think it would be like he's down. I think he's unconscious. I can't tell whether or not he's breathing. Do we have time for a hazmat huddle?
Well, you can listen, and again, I'm assuming it's a quiet scene, but you can listen for them breathing air through the mask. You can hear that. But of the firefighter removal and real deal operations that I was at, about half of them required some type of extrication. You know, the guy slipped, tripped, and fell, but he fell into a coat rack. And now he's kind of like pinned with the coat rack. Like, yeah, it sounds simple. Like, it's a coat rack. But that gets entangled into your mask or something like that. It becomes very hard to do. So, like, what if the guy fell and his foot is stuck in the stair web? Or, you know, like, I'm just thinking a little bit past he's just laying in the middle of a parking lot, which is how we usually practice.
Well, I guess in a scenario like that, you would have time would be on your side, right? Because in a fire, time is not on our side, right? A guy gets stuck in a coat rack, and if he's not removed immediately, we have no idea what that fire is going to do, how quickly it can extend. In a hazmat scene, a guy gets his foot caught in the hot zone. There's less of a time necessity for something like that.
Yeah, but another thing is what changes is maybe our mission was to go in there and mitigate this for the preservation of property. As soon as somebody goes down, all that crap goes out, and now what's to say I can't hydraulically ventilate this place and just say I don't really care. I'm putting fans, I'm throwing water, and I'm going to move the hazmat away from me, building myself a bubble. Again, this is great conversation to start. Yeah, this is something that's really. And you know what? It's not like we're just. It almost feels like we're trailblazing this, and I certainly know we're not. There's guys like Mark from up in Connecticut that have been talking about this on the circuit, and very smart guys that have been talking about this for a while, and it's something that really needs to be talked about.
Well, I know there's groups of guys out there that are like the NFPAs trying to like come up with standards and ideas, but I want to have this conversation. I want people to have the conversation that me and Bob are having right now. This is the conversation you need to be having at your breakfast table, in your kitchen, in your training scenarios, because you don't want to wait for standards to come down. You need to have some kind of a game plan. You need to have some kind of a thought process in which you go, hey, listen, all right, yeah, not every hazmat run needs a rapid intervention team, right? Like I'm sucking up oil from the side of a road. I really don't need a whole separate rapid intervention team going in. But if I'm getting into a serious run, a level A, these are things that I should be considered. Do I want to have a dedicated team? Do I want to use my backup team? What kind of PPE should they be in? What kind of tools should they have? Who should be with them to help them? And how is this team going to be structured? I think those 5 things, if you guys could, and gals, could start to have a game plan answering those 5 questions, even before your department has something down in writing or standards have something down in writing, you would be ahead of the game because at least everybody would be on a similar page.
Yeah, I think any which way you go, you're going to be ahead of the curve, and you're going to be better off. I don't think, and I think a lot of people are going to be a little scared of saying, well, we're going to do this. What if we're wrong? There is nothing saying you're wrong.
No.
The ends justify the means. If you get the guy out and there's no problems, then you won, and he won.
But if you don't get the guy out and there's problems, there's there's answers to be, there's questions to be answered. And to sit and go, wow, that's something we never thought about, I don't think that is really going to hold water in this day and age.
I don't know. I think in a jury of your peers, they'll be like, yeah, I can see what they did. I don't know.
So get back to us. We want input on this. We want thought process. I know there are teams out there who have created rapid intervention teams. I know there are people out there who are gathering information and surveys and things like that. So give us your thoughts, especially if it's something that we've said that you don't agree with. That's really what we're looking for. We're looking for the other opinions, the other thought processes, maybe the things that we didn't think about in this half an hour of sitting here just trying to, spitball ideas and thought processes. So drop us a line and let's start opening lines of communication.
Yeah, I loved it. It was good.
Excellent.
If you have a moment, please head over to iTunes and leave us a positive review. And don't forget to check out the book, National Emergency Response Hazmat Drills, or NERD, on Amazon.
Well, that wraps up another episode of the Hazmat Guys.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube channel at The Hazmat Guys. And take a moment to call our comment hotline at 843-628-1484 and go to www.thehazmatguys.com and sign up for the newsletter.
We seriously look forward to your feedback about any of the information provided, and we also want to hear about interesting incidents that you were a part of. So you can send us a note at feedback@thehazmatguys.com. And remember, any of the information that you share with us, if we put it on air, can always remain anonymous.
Remember, guys, don't just get on the job. Get into the job.